Hey everybody, how you guys doing today? I'm Cam's Brain and you're tuned in to My Humble Opinion podcast. We have Amoy Vision today and we also have Contessa Contour Arts. Today we're going to be talking about a very, very important topic. At least it's important to me. I grew up in a rural area of New York, but it was pretty urban at the same time and appearance was really big. I've noticed the more and more I've gotten older, the importance of that. I've noticed some people will judge you, some people won't judge you, some people will be nice to you, some people won't. So it's very interesting to me to get the viewpoints and the opinions of others. Miss Amoy Vision is a print model. She also has a YouTube channel. She does a lot of social media things in the social media world, as well as Contessa. Contessa is an artist. From what I understand, you do a lot of painting, you do a lot of TikTok videos, things like that. And you're in high school. And high school kids are assholes. So for me, I really want to know, what it means to have your own style, as a high schooler, as a teen, and Miss Amoy, the same for you. What does it mean to really have your own identity as it relates to what you wear? Does your appearance matter? What do you think?
So hi guys, nice to meet everyone here today. I think in regards to what you wear in fashion, it definitely matters, but I would say it should only matter to you, meaning you should wear what you feel comfortable in. You should be able to, feel comfortable in what you're wearing, what you're putting on your body, how you're expressing yourself. So I feel like it does matter, but it should only matter, so to speak, for yourself. So for instance, what you're wearing every day should be based on your comfortability. Like for me, for example, when I'm wearing things, it's all about my mood, how I'm feeling, personally, I like to dress sometimes with the weather. If it's a rainy day out, I may wear like something kind of cozy and comfy. If it's a hot sunny day out, I may want to have a little bit more skin out, So it's all based on your comfortability, I would say. And that's just how I personally go about it for me. But everyone's different. Everyone has their own, way of doing things. So
What about you, Miss Contessa Contour Arts? How do you feel about the situation?
Well, personally, I'm gonna be honest. I used to really care about too much what people thought about what I wore and too much about what other people thought. And in middle school, I was kind of like, honestly, I never really talked to people like that. Never had that many friends just because I didn't really care for it. But like, even if I did have friends, they're close friends that I've had for like a long time. So people that I'm comfortable around, right? And it was like middle school whenever I was in 8th grade. Yeah, that's middle school. Yeah. Whenever I was in 8th grade, I was kind of like, I don't really care. So I kind of just wore what I wanted, started getting things that fit my style. And then whenever I got to high school, it was a thing where it would be like people were staring and people were doing certain things. And I was just like, oh, well, because I don't really care like that anymore.
Yeah.
It used to be like a big problem, but it's not really that serious for me personally.
Yeah, that's cool. So for most of you guys, like I said, high school kids are assholes. So anyway, if you guys didn't know, Queen Contessa is our daughter. Queen Contessa is me and Amoy's daughter. So I have a funny story that I remember as it relates to style with you. So when she was maybe in, I don't know, what grade?
Oh, with the cars?
Wait. What grade was it when we got the car shoes for her?
Second grade.
So second grade. Second grade.
First grade. Somewhere.
You remember what grade it was?
No, it was like kindergarten. Not kindergarten.
No, it wasn't kindergarten. You were old enough to kind of just say, hey,
It was whenever we had those two nice white ladies.
So.
Me and Bella had the same teacher.
Okay, so I would say maybe second grade.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. We were at the mall. We were living in Kennesaw, Georgia. Me and Amoy had took all the kiddos to the mall to go shopping. And Tessa bugged us out for some the movie Cars. They had, I think the movie had just came out, right?
It did.
The movie had just came out.
It did come out.
And they had these Lightning McQueen shoes at Payless. I know that's a very old statement to make, but At the time, Payless was still alive. But anyways, she bugged me out for the shoes. And at the time, I honestly didn't have the money. Like, we had just paid rent. There was a lot of stuff going on. And I was just like, whatever, she wants these shoes. So we got her the car, the Lightning McQueen shoes. Yeah, you may have been in kindergarten or first grade. It may have been first grade. So we get her the shoes. She's wanting to use them. She's wanting to wear them.
They also lit up. It was honestly really... I remember those
shoes were fire. Yo, look, I'm going to tell you right now. If they had a man size...
They had no shoelaces. It was perfect.
It was perfect.
Like, if you stop...
Because she didn't know how to tie her shoes. She would do, like, a weird thing where she would just knot all her shoestrings up. It was on some weird stuff.
It was very effective.
Yes. No.
I still sometimes do it. It's just, I can slip them on.
No. Anywho. So I get the shoes for her. She wore them to school once. And then I noticed, I'm like, these shoes are super clean. Like, they're not dirty. Like, she will dirty something up in a minute. And I'm thinking, how is it that all these other shoes smell like Fritos, just dirt everywhere, just disgusting. And then the Lightning McQueen shoes, just completely clean. I'm thinking, okay, she must really like these shoes. Like, she's taking care of these shoes. So lo and behold, I have a conversation with her, and she's like, yeah, Dad, I'm not wearing the shoes, Dad, because there's a kid in class, Dad, that's picking on me. You remember that?
Dude.
So
stupid.
That experience, I was going to ask you, what type of experience that both of you have had where your style became an issue, where somebody may have judged you or something like that. But it got me to thinking about that story. So after me telling that story, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like that was, do you feel like that moment was like one of the moments where you realized style was important, or you should care or you shouldn't care?
No. So, like, honestly, I'm very, like, if someone says something, I used to do this thing where if someone says something, I'll try to finish, so I'd be like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. Mm-hmm. But then, it was really bad now that I think about it, mm-hmm. the way I try to make myself fit in certain, like, environments, mm-hmm. and I was like, and then I kind of just got tired of doing that.
Yeah.
But, like, with the shoes thing, it kind of made it worse, honestly.
Oh, really? So you became, like, more self-conscious about it?
Yeah. And it started from, like, that to being everything self-conscious about myself.
Mm. So that's deep. So was it a boy that was picking on you, or was it a girl?
It was a dude.
I mean, he's a hater. He probably likes you.
Those are boy shoes. And I was like, oh, well, I like them.
Yeah, I like that shirt. That's my shirt. That's a boy shirt. I see you don't care. Now you just make it your own thing.
Exactly.
See? What about you, Amoy? Have you ever had any type of situation where you found that you were being judged because of what you were wearing?
So there is one moment that comes to mind.
Really?
Back in my youth, and
I want to hear this.
Oddly enough, only because typically when I was younger, I would put together my own wardrobe and everything. But my grandmother actually bought from Old Navy. I would never forget it. It was like a dark forest green corduroy overall little set. Now, me personally, I loved it, but I knew what was going to come with that. Mm-hmm. I knew because of the dark colors and everything like that, and just the material, it was so thick that I was going to get teased, right? So I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it, whatever. We're going to make it happen. So I wore it to school, and sure enough, right when I got to school, everybody was like, oh, you look like you threw up on yourself.
Oh, wow. For real?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was horrible.
That's
it was
brutal.
Horrible. And then after that, I never wore it again. My grandmother, she was like, why are you not wearing the outfit I bought you from Old Navy? You know how much money it cost me? I spent $60.
Navy was a joint back
it was
then.
A lot of money back then.
Shoot.
It was a lot of money back then. And like I said, it was good quality. I loved how it looked and everything. But I didn't express to her, like, why I didn't want to wear it again. Mm. And she just was like, why you not wearing the outfit? You said you love the outfit. Why you not wearing the outfit? And that was one of the moments for me where I was like, I did allow myself to not wear the outfit again. But I will wear it on the weekends.
Well, I mean, at least you still wore it. At least you still wore it.
If I didn't have to wear it at school, if I didn't have to hear the little, and again, it's always boys. It's always the boys.
Well, I think most of the time it's boys because boys like you. So.
It's always the boys like Tessa, so I can relate to what she's saying.
The thing is, it's only the boys that would say something. The girls would side eye you and do some like stank ass stuff and like try to talk behind your back. Mm. And it's like, oh, like at least you're not saying it to my face because you're gonna get hurt. So it's like if you say it behind my back, okay, you do you. I don't really care. But like the dudes, they'll say it to your face, and it's kind of like, okay.
But see, I've learned now that I'm older. The guys, they do that to get a reaction. And more often than not, they're probably like you or something like that.
Which was weird.
Yeah, but that's just...
It was weird that boys liked you?
That's how they operate.
Or that they picked on you because they liked you?
It's weird why they liked me. Because it's also like, I know why. And it's weird.
Hold on. Alright, so, I can't remember what I was going to ask next. Oh, okay, hold on. So... You had the Lightning McQueen situation. Any other particular situation like Amoy where it was like you would wear it if you had to?
What do you mean?
Like for instance, I'm pretty sure like when we bought you guys Easter dresses, that was just like only something that you guys were gonna wear.
Okay. Let me say something. I don't wear any types of dress. Like, okay,
you used to love dresses.
I'm kind of getting back into liking dresses now, too. But it has to be... The reason why I hated wearing dresses, and I think it was only because you guys picked them out for me, is because I hated all the dresses that they got. Because it would be, like, Easter dresses, or, like... and it'll be, like, a tight dress, too. And I hate tight clothing. So it's
y'all were growing so quick. So it was like, we would buy something, and it was like... Especially you're lanky. And Bella, she just got tall quick. So it was just like, we would get something. Literally, we can buy something 1 week, and then the next week, it would be too little for you to wear. And this is like, hell no. We just spent $20 on this dress. You wearing this dress, and we go get some pictures.
It'll be so uncomfortable. And I was like, I hate wearing dresses. I hate wearing skirts. But, like, I think now since I could choose and pick, like, my style and, like, what I can do for it, then I'll wear it.
So do you think on average people judge you because of what you wear?
Yes.
Because of what I'm wearing?
Yeah, like I know for like how you said earlier that it shouldn't matter like what you wear when as it relates to like people judging you. But do you think people do judge you based on what you wear?
Well, I want to say dressing is how you present yourself. So if you go into school looking like you don't care, or if you just kind of put on whatever and you do whatever, it's gonna look like, oh, okay, well, she looks like she doesn't like her life, or she looks like she doesn't care about anything.
Yeah.
But then it's also a thing where if you put yourself together, you put makeup on, and you do like all this stuff, and you really like do a get up. There's also, like, a thing where people also be like, oh, she gets so ready in the morning. Oh, my goodness, that's, like, a waste of time. Like, she does all this, she does all that. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of weird. It's, like, a weird mixture. Because if you don't do anything at all, then you're still hated on. But if you do too much, then you're still hated on.
Yeah.
So there's no in-between, really.
Yeah.
But if there is but that's why I really don't care either. Mm-hmm. Like, I kind of just do what I want. And then it's, like, you still have to worry about what you wear because... it represents you. So it's like, teasers are like, oh, dress to impress.
Well, I know for you, particularly, you guys have like a ethic, like a code of ethics or like a dress code.
No.
So there's no dress code at the school you guys are at?
No.
I feel like I had to bring stuff to the school a few times, and your mom had to bring stuff to the school a few times
like
because...
that was the middle school. For high school, we don't have to do anything.
Oh, really? So high school is just like, y'all can do what y'all want?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
You just can't wear anything, like, you can't go in a bikini or anything. Or, like, you can't be literally half naked. But you can wear whatever you want.
So, Moy, do you feel like as a print model, there's certain styles of clothes that you wouldn't wear because you don't have a personal interest in it?
Absolutely not. I'm pretty versatile and open. I'm willing to always try something once. Mm-hmm. So in regards to something I wouldn't personally choose to wear.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think, but that's, again, it's all personal preference, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's all based on what you prefer. But, in the world that I'm in, you have to be versatile. You have to be able to kind of mold and go with the flow and transition yourself in certain ways. So, me personally, no.
All right. So, what was the next question I was going to ask? Okay. So, I also have. Okay. So, you said basically you'll kind of wear anything once, or you do any genre once, right?
I'm very open.
Wait, I know for me, like, I will wear something once. So it's like, I know for you, do you wear, like, anything? Because you'll try anything once, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's like, I know it's something that I will look good in.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's very uncomfortable, I'll be like, oh my God.
You
but I'll
change
still
clothes like 20 times a day, bruh.
No,
You are
not
extremely.
anymore.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Especially like if we're outside.
She's slowed down a little bit the older she's gotten.
She changed clothes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how, like, people pee. Like, it's just every other second, it's like a different shirt or a different pair of pants or something. Like, I feel like you're just really uncomfortable in certain things. Or, like, you definitely have to have, like, a comfortability as it relates to, like, what you wear. Because you're always switching stuff up.
So the thing, I don't really, okay, I switch stuff up, but that's also because I'm doing something different. I'm always doing something different.
That's true.
Like, usually,
that.
if I'm literally not doing anything, you'll probably see me wear the same sweater for 2 days in a row.
Yeah. I can see that.
And then I'll be, like, switching it up, and then I just wear the same thing for, like, 2 days.
I feel like it's a double standard, though, because, like, women, like how you said, you can try anything once. It's like a woman can do that. But a dude can't really try anything once as it relates to certain styles. Like, for instance, you can wear some boy shorts and like a crop top or something like that, and that's cool. Mm-hmm. But if you see somebody like Kyrie Irving or like I can't remember the dude that plays ball that wore the little Scottish skirt. Like, dudes can't do stuff like that. So the whole once try everything once doesn't really translate the same when it comes to dudes.
I disagree too.
How?
Especially in the generation that we're in, everybody is so free and open to express themselves. Back when we were growing up.
Oh, bruh. Back when we were. I remember.
Back in the early 90s.
Do you remember that Jabot outfit I had? The Dada. Okay, so there was a brand called Dada. D-A-D-A. Mm-hmm. And I had the silver pants. You remember that?
Yes.
And the silver jacket.
Yep.
Yo, I paid maybe $100, $200. I had two. I had one denim one and one metallic one. You remember I had the shoes to go with it, the Dada Supremes.
Right.
Back in the day, Supreme was owned by a company named Dada. Anyways, I walked into school with silver pants and a silver jacket on, and I was a homosexual. I kid you not. Like, back in the day, if you wore anything other than some jeans and like a white t-shirt, you was gay. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's crazy how you said, it's different now where, and I was always that kid where I would wear crazy stuff. I didn't care. Well, okay, so I cared what people thought. I'm not going to hold you. But I still did my own thing. Like, it was weird. Like, I don't know if it's just me being artistic or what, but it was like, I wanted to wear what I wanted to wear, even though I knew I was about to get picked on all day. It was weird because it was like I was happy that I was wearing what I wanted to wear, but it was like,
just go for it.
Yeah, but I knew I was about to get picked on. I knew I was about to get talked about. I knew everybody was going to be looking at me crazy, but it was like, I don't know. It was something just that made me want to just go ahead and still do my own thing. But yeah, the genre, like, you are right in regards to today's age where now that
everyone's is pretty much.
Yeah. You guys want to play a little game?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You want to play a game?
So we're talking about clothes, right? Mm-hmm. So personal preferences. Mm-hmm. A bustier or a bra?
Bustier.
What's a bustier again?
It's like a 2-in-1.
It's like, you ever watch Selena?
No.
Or Beyonce?
Yeah, Beyonce.
When she has like the little bra, but it's like the shirt type situation.
Built in.
You don't know what a bustier is? Okay.
I don't know
so
what it is.
A scorch or a skirt?
Scorch.
Okay.
Because the skirts is like the shorts and then the skirt. Mm-hmm. I actually wanted to design one. I thought it was a while ago. I was talking to you.
Had a really cool
and I really want to make one.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna do that.
So, bell bottoms or tights?
Oh, that's hard because I love bell bottoms when I was growing up.
Bell bottoms are basically could be tights.
You could do a bell bottom tights. You can do. I
think they have
thing.
some of that.
But you gotta choose one or the other: bell bottoms or tights.
Okay, so if I had to choose tights,
they could both go with anything.
I would do tights if I had to choose.
If you had to choose tights,
yeah.
Bell bottoms or tights?
I have those. Okay. I don't wear my bell bottoms as much, like my bell bottoms. I wear those if I'm going somewhere fancy and if I want to be like a little flowy. Because I have like, it would be like a tight, but then it goes, okay. Mm-hmm. I would say leggings because like those will both go with everything.
So tights?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or tights.
So, you made me forget the left. Oh, okay. So, Nikes or Pumas?
Pumas all day.
Really? Nikes or Puma?
Without,
I don't like Nike or Puma.
Really? So what brand would it be?
It's not my favorite. I would say Guess or Timberland. Like, okay, hold on. I like Tim's, but I don't have those. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't have a lot of those anymore because I grew out of them. But those are my favorite. And then I like Jordans.
Okay. Okay, so your pick would be
Oh, no! Converse! Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Converse.
Do you like Vans?
No.
I feel like Vans and Converse are like Twizzlers.
I had a pair of Vans. They're really comfortable. I like them. It's not that I don't like them, but I would rather have Converse.
Reebok or Adidas?
Adidas.
Really? Reeboks or Adidas?
Or Reeboks look cool, but I don't like how they look like that.
So like, I grew up again on Reeboks. I grew up with them. You know.
Water.
All right. So, Amoy, have you ever had a racial experience that stemmed from your clothing?
A racial experience? Mm-hmm. Thankfully, I can honestly say I haven't. I can honestly say that it wasn't racially geared. It was just probably like just someone being mean. Like, nothing racially geared.
Yeah. What about you, Tess?
I don't think so.
Have you ever judged somebody based on what they were wearing?
Yes.
What about you, Amoy?
Because I saw someone wearing like a weird shirt and I was like, okay, so that's how you are.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
I can see that. A lot of people, I can see that. Me personally, if I ever judged anyone, it depends on the circumstance, like where I am, what I'm doing. Like if I'm going like somewhere, like in a professional setting, absolutely. I'm going to judge you, because it's like, okay, I'm not going to take you seriously,
Oh, yeah.
Well, you got to understand.
It just depends on that setting and the environment.
Yeah. I think I definitely have judged people based on their appearance, like based on what they're wearing. Like, I'm that type of person where I grew up very young. So for me, a big part of like learning things was visual.
Yeah.
I didn't have like a parent to kind of walk me through certain things. So because I didn't have that, I learned from experience. So a lot of experience taught me to just read certain things, certain people's mannerisms, what they were wearing, things like that. That's even like when you guys go into a restaurant, I always tell you to do what? Sit near the entrance. Whenever somebody walks in, know what they're wearing. In case something happens, you know what to tell the cops they're wearing. So for me, I don't judge people. Or it may be the same thing. I may sound contradicted when I say this, but I don't necessarily judge people.
You analyze.
I analyze the situation. If we're in a Waffle House, we're all eating and having a good time, and then it's like 80 degrees and somebody walks in with a hoodie on, you know what I mean? And like, they're super skinny, but the hoodie is super big and there's something poking out like he may have a shotgun, it's time to go ahead and get up and leave, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but at the end of the day, again, like I said, I grew up young. So for me, I kind of had to read things in that way where I can look at how somebody is dressed. I can look at how somebody's talking or what somebody's doing and kind of determine whether or not I should be around them, if I should bounce out or whatever. So I think I definitely do kind of sort of maybe judge people based on their appearance.
One of them is judging, like, it's more of being aware.
Yeah. When does it cross the line though? When does it cross the line between judging and being racist?
I think that's just all based on the person's character, right?
Or judging or being aware, like
when they open their mouths.
So being aware is looking at a person, being like, oh, they're wearing that, they're doing this. And I guess it's like, it is, okay, I would say awareness is another part of judging. It's in the same, like, category.
I agree with that.
Like, in the same thing. But being aware of what someone's wearing and what they're doing is judging them, like, responsibly. Judging them.
I like that. Judging responsibly. Yeah. I like that.
Like, judging without being judgy.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just being like, oh, they're doing this. They look okay. They seem okay. They don't look like they're going to do anything. Mm-hmm. You're judging the person by what they're wearing, but you're doing it because you're being aware of your surroundings.
Yeah, I would say judging with a purpose. What do you think, Amoy?
So I think for me, like I said, it just depends on, again, the environment where you are, right? So, like, for instance, like how you made a comment about being in a restaurant, and if it's like 90 degrees outside and he's wearing, like, a hoodie and something like that. But when that person opens their mouth and they engage with you and have a conversation, then that kind of retracts your mind back. Like, okay, well, maybe it's not what my preconceived notion may not be what it is. Because this person sounds like, maybe he just likes wearing long sleeves or wearing pants or whatever the case may be. Now, for me personally, like I said, again, I always give people, this is like a thing that I just do. You got 5 seconds, right? So it's all about the senses, right? Hearing, touch, taste, smell, seeing. So I give you 5. No, seriously.
There's a taste and smell.
So when it comes to visual, if I see somebody, right, you have 5 seconds. I'm going to base not only on what you're wearing, but how you are walking, how you're speaking, how you're interacting with people. And then after that, I make my judgment. Now, I realize we're in a world where everybody doesn't do that. And immediately people just look at what you're wearing. But if you're asking me personally, that's just how I operate.
Yeah, like, you look at someone and, like, you were saying with the jacket, they may not be like what you're saying. Yeah. Like, so it's like, you also have to, like, hear how they sound. And it's also, like I said earlier, how they present yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's everyone has their own interpretation, but I do feel, what you wear makes a huge impact, but it's also how you present yourself in what you're wearing.
Okay. If you had to describe your style in 3 words, what would it be?
If I had to describe my style, I would say risky, eclectic, and edgy.
I like that. What about you?
I would say poppy, like with the pop color, and then like I can also be like very like dressy with like heels and whatnot, and also chill.
I like that. I think my 3 would be OG, loud, and I don't know what my last one would be. Old school. I guess OG is old school. Yeah. Or gangster, so I'll say OG.
That's literally the same thing.
So OG.
No.
Loud.
Half naked.
Yeah, and naked. Actually, you are correct. So my style would be
house with Dorito underwear.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Bro, when I get home, I'm getting naked.
He strips at the front door.
I mean, it's my house.
Well, not like that.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now. For me,
I just stay in my room.
For me, yes, I would say OG, eclectic, and just butt booty naked.
Okay, naked with underwear on.
With underwear on. Like I like my underwear. I like my Batman underwear. I like my Doritos underwear. You know what I mean?
Your Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops. I got the Frosted Flake joints. Anything. But like, yeah, I like to be very comfortable when I get home. Like, I don't know. That's just what it is. When I get a property big enough where I can walk around in my drawers, like I'm doing that. Like it's happening. I promise you. Like I'm good. Like I'm that person. So yeah, no. I think at the end of the day, though, isn't that how it should be? Like, you know, we were all supposed to be naked anyway. I mean, that's how it was supposed to work out. Naked? I mean, that's because we make horrible choices in life as humans.
It wasn't horrible. It was very.
We ate an apple from a demon snake.
We. Huh?
Who was
we? That is not me.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Adam did, or Eve, or whatever. But
did you know the Bible?
We're supposed to be naked, bruh. We're supposed to be that way.
We're supposed to be naked, but guess what?
Yeah.
I would say that's my style. That's my style. Clothes? You know, I would appreciate it though if you stop stealing my clothes. I mean, I feel like whatever fashion I have, you automatically adopt because you always take my stuff.
I don't have any good clothes. I need to actually go shopping.
That's interesting.
I need to get a new wardrobe.
Well, I want to thank both of you guys for coming on the show. My humble opinion. I think we had a very intellectual conversation regarding appearance. I know we had a lighthearted situation, but at this point, aside from asking you guys what 3 things define you, I would like for both of you guys to send a message out there for people that are in a position, particularly for you, Contessa, somebody that's in high school or your age that may be struggling with some of the things that you struggled with. If you can offer some words of encouragement, and Amoy, the same thing with you. You being in the social light as a influencer and being a print model, I think it's important for you to kind of give your example of what you do and encouragement to other young women and other young men out there that are doing what you do. I think it's important for you to give your opinion on what advice you would give somebody in your position. So I would like to give both of you guys the floor. I'm going to start with Miss Amoy. If you can offer some words of encouragement regarding this very important topic.
Absolutely. So what I would start off with is you have to be comfortable in your own skin. So I know for me personally, being Jamaican, I like to, kind of root for the ethnic side of things, the curvy women, the women who may be a little insecure, the, melatonin women, as well as men, and just being able to just be comfortable in your skin, know that you may not look like the average, people who are out there on magazines, who are on TV, but just know that there's only one you, and that you have to embrace and love who you are in your skin. And at the end of the day, as long as you feel comfortable and you're happy with how you feel and who you are, just don't ever allow society and the world we live in to make you feel less than or other, anything other than that. Be fearless, live your life, be happy. You only have one life. So you have to make it count, make it the best life, and be happy. And, however that may translate for you. I know for me, like I said, being of the Jamaican descent and culture, I kind of gear a lot more towards my Caribbean culture and, the ethnicities in the islands and the Caribbean and things like that. But whoever you are, just stay true to who you are. I know there's a lot of different melting pots in America. And, I think at the end of the day, as long as you're able to just know you're happy within yourself and you are staying true to who you are, that is all that matters. So
Facts.
That's what I was saying.
I know you used to be like, stay true to thine self.
Yes, stay true to thine self. Mm-hmm.
What about you, Miss Contessa?
For me, do what you want. Hold on. Do what you want. Do what you feel comfortable in. Don't let anybody tell you anything. Because one thing about people in this world, everybody is different, like you said. everybody has a different body shape, so you have to wear what you know will look good on your body too. Because you might want to go with a certain style, but you had to fit it to your body type. Like you said, some people have curves, some people have different body shapes and everything. So you have to do what you know will look good, like different. It's the same style, but with your own twist on it that fits who you are. And another thing is, like, people who you're like, oh, I want to look like this, or you want to look like that. Most of the people, like influencers and people on the internet, cover themselves in makeup. I watched this one video where a model got covered in makeup, like, everywhere, like, on her body for the photo shoot. Wow. So you might want to look like your favorite, influencer and famous person, but at the end of the day, they're still, like, they're perfecting what they're already good, but they're perfecting things on themselves. Mm-hmm. So, though you want to look like that, you have to know that what you are and what you look like is already good enough, because there's no way anybody could be perfect. You can just be the best of who you are. So,
like that.
Do what you want. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And stay true to thyself.
I like that. I would agree. I would have to agree with you, Amoy, and you as well, Tessa. I think those are both compelling concepts. I really, don't have anything else to add to that. I mean, for me, I feel the same way. At the end of the day, you have to be able to be very comfortable with who you are. And like I said earlier, with me, I would wear stuff knowing I was going to get picked on. So sometimes it just has to be worth it. There's a saying where it's like, ask for forgiveness, not permission. Not necessarily, that doesn't necessarily fit in this sentence or this situation, but it's more or less like, no matter what is going to come from a situation, if you're happy with what you're doing, at the end of the day, that's what matters.
And what I've realized in, like, people being in high school, people don't judge you because people don't judge you because of, like, you look bad or anything. It's like they're mad that you look good.
Yeah.
So it's weird. So they hate on you because they can't do what you're doing or be as open as you are to yourself. Mm-hmm. They're probably more than likely, they're mad that they can't be who they are because they're too scared to open up.
Mm-hmm. And it's the same way with celebrities. Like, a lot of celebrities out there, they are their own alter egos because they have an insecurity about something. Yeah. It's the same thing, like you said, with some models that cover themselves. I'm very familiar with most people in the model industry, from my personal experience, especially being a photographer. They are aware that they can be a model or that they have a photogenic presence. But from what I have experienced, a lot of people are very insecure. So you'll find somebody that actually looks decent, but no matter how decent they look, they still have an insecurity. So like you said, Tessa, it's almost a situation where it's like, if you put yourself out in the world and you feel as though you have to meet the standard of someone else, you'll always continue to dig yourself a deeper hole, because the person that you are trying to catch up with, they aren't even happy with themselves more often than none. So the bigger part of life is how Miss Tessa and Miss Amoy was saying, you have to be able to just be comfortable. I do have a question for you, though, before we wrap up.
Absolutely.
With you being an islander, is there a certain style specific to, like, the West Indian culture?
I would say, so there is. Mm. It's more like, very less is more. Mm-hmm. So, less. Oh, and that's just based in being in the Caribbean, basically.
Yeah, because it's hot as shit.
It's so hot.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
It's a lot of.
Well, I always notice the dudes with the tank tops with the holes.
Yep.
So I feel like when I think of, like, Jamaican or West Indian, I'm thinking like the beanies, the dudes with the colorful tank tops with the holes, the shorts.
You gotta let the air come through.
Yeah.
So your skin
what is that called?
Breathe. Oh, that's a great question. I honestly don't know the proper terminology for that. But I want to say it's like a mesh material.
Okay, that makes sense.
So That's a great question.
Hmm.
But I do know a lot of men and women, they wear it and they tend to dye it.
Mm-hmm.
The dark reds, the greens, the gold, the
Mm-hmm.
greens, the island colors, stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that.
So the textile so the textile or colorway for for Jamaica is typically like a tie-dye type look, or is it,
I wouldn't
you know
say
what I mean?
tie dye. Like I said, it's more okay. So you typically, in my experience, they have the golds, they
Mm-hmm.
have the greens, they have the blacks. The men like to wear red. So for
Okay,
some
okay,
reason,
okay.
if you notice, a lot of the guys
Mm-hmm.
they'll have those mesh shirts, like how you're
Mm-hmm.
saying, and they'll have the reds on there, the
Mm-hmm.
golds, the greens, and the black.
Okay.
Now the women, we stay more true to the flag, like the true colors, like the
Mm-hmm.
greens, the blacks, and the golds.
Okay. That makes sense. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought about that because,
Yeah.
like, I feel like,
So it is, yeah.
yeah, like if there's like a specific, um, like colorway or a specific design that is typically worn. Are there any West Indian models that you know of? Like, I know Naomi Campbell.
Absolutely.
Is she Jamaican or is she like, I can't remember. She's Haitian. What is Naomi Campbell? What's her nationality?
So Naomi Campbell, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe she is West Indian.
Okay. Okay.
So she's one of my icons. I look up
Mm-hmm.
to her like for everything. She's definitely paved the way
Mm-hmm.
for ethnicities in regards to the Caribbean culture when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to modeling, fashion, runway, even beauty. She's kind of geared towards that now. But yeah, she's a huge icon of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I look to her a lot.
Do you guys think that your your style is based on artists, certain musical artists that you like? Like, I know for me growing up, whatever Run DMC was wearing, whatever Kid and Play was wearing, 50 Cent, people like that was wearing, everybody wore in school. Like,
Yeah.
you remember being in school and like Nelly had the song out and everybody started wearing the band-aid and the big white
So
shirts
I
and the
will
blue
say, for
jeans.
me personally, I've never been that kid.
Hmm.
Um, so I've always kind of worn what I like, and I was a kid with the big, thick Skechers shoes.
Yeah, I
Like
remember that.
those were not popular
I remember
at
that.
all, but I
I
loved
remember that.
wearing them.
She used to wear
Um,
these Skechers that were like that thick. It would make her so tall. And then when she stopped wearing them joints and I seen her, I'm like, oh my God, she's short as hell.
Yeah, I was never that way.
Yeah, I've never done that either. Like, I know a lot of people, it's like how you're saying, like you like big poppy people, like pop artists.
Yeah.
I mean, artists, music artists, and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But for, I guess, us and my generation,
Mm-hmm.
people do like TikTok trends and do
so
like
things have shifted. That's
yeah.
crazy. So like where for us it was like music videos and artists. For y'all it's like whoever's on TikTok wearing
Yeah,
certain
whoever's on
things.
TikTok, social media.
That's wild.
And it's
That's
rarely
crazy.
even models or even singers. It's just like people that are like TikTok famous. It's kind of weird. But I've never really done any trends. I think I haven't really done any trends. Have I done any trends? No.
Do you think you have ever set a trend?
Have I started a trend?
I think so, actually.
Really?
I think I did. Now you remember this.
I know. I'm listening.
Just because I didn't know if this is a whole nother story, but I used to wear bandanas in the back of my pocket to match my outfits. Like, so if I wore a orange shirt that day, I would put an orange bandana.
As her boyfriend at the time, I had to.
I didn't realize it was like gang affiliated.
It's gang.
Like,
yeah,
I didn't know.
when you wear a red bandana, you know what I'm saying, all around school. Yeah, somebody's you gonna have some lunch. And then the next day wear a blue one. Like,
no, listen.
Come on, bro. Like, make up your mind. Like,
did you really do that?
Yeah, she did that. Yes. And your boy from New York
absolutely
had to make sure
that?
everything was cool. All right, I'm listening.
Okay.
I'm just having
Again,
PTSD. Don't mind me.
Coming from the Caribbean, I flew back and forth from Jamaica.
You gotta domesticate yourself. You in America now, and we have gangs.
I flew back and forth from Jamaica, so I would go to the beauty supply store, right? And I would get the little bandanas, for my hair and everything. And I would be like, oh, this is cute with my outfit. So I would put it in my pocket or wrap it around my hair, things like that. Yeah. And I would put like the little lollipops in my hair and the little chopsticks in my hair. I thought that was cute.
Yeah, all the girls in
I didn't
school
know.
will wear little lollipops and
and then all of a sudden, everybody want to be wearing the little bandanas and all this other stuff. And then I finally had to
most people
stop
that were wearing
it.
it were gang members, but that's neither here nor there.
I know people do the same thing with like the thing in the back of their pocket, but we don't do that. We do the lanyards.
Yeah.
What's a lanyard?
It's little things that go around your neck.
Yeah, for you.
I didn't know.
People do lanyards that hook them to their pants, and they don't do like it's like kind of.
Oh, I would have definitely did that. I would have definitely rocked those too.
Yeah.
So I had an Abercrombie and Fitch stage in my life.
What?
I did. Like you ever went to the mall and you see that store where it's like very fit white and African American kids, and they like have on like no shirt but like jeans, and like they have like the shell necklace on, that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You ever been to Abercrombie and Fitch?
Simply Southern.
Yeah, something like that. So I had that stage for a while in my life. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I did.
Why?
I don't know. You got to remember.
Someone from Josh from Florida,
So.
Hey, I just got these seashells from.
Yeah, for sure. That's.
Hey guys, like my shorts.
I had that stage. Yeah, I had that stage.
You did?
Absolutely, I
I'm
did.
so sorry. You like that?
I had.
This was before me.
Oh, okay.
This makes sense. This was the New York stage, I think.
Yeah, I mean.
In New York, you did that in New York.
But you got. I was in Syracuse, New York, for one.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
I mean, come on, you're in the country. And, it's kind of like, you're in that area where that type of stuff could be okay depending on where you're at. But yeah, I did. Have you ever had a stage that you're embarrassed about? Like for me, if somebody pulls up my Abercrombie and Fitch stage when I was like 12, 13, 14, oh God, I would be so mortified. Any stage?
Well, I'm sure you wore it well.
I did. I had a baby face, so I was straight for a while. It was okay, but
I'm sure you were.
I haven't had any stage. I would never say I hated any stage that I have of me dressing. Mm-hmm. Took me a while to find what I really like to wear. Mm. But what I wore, I never really hated, other than the dresses.
I feel like you like dresses. You just
I love dresses. I just hated the dresses y'all got me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would like to thank you guys for coming, and I hope we can do this more often. This has been my humble opinion with Amoy Vision and Contessa Couture. I would like to invite you guys to tune in every Sunday at 8 p.m. for my humble opinion podcast. Thank you. Have a great night. I view things. As a young man, I was always taught that the way I walked, the way I talked, and the way I looked at people and wore my clothes was a great example of who I was. It was drilled in my head that a young man does not walk with his head down. He doesn't keep his hands in his pockets. He looks up to the sky when he walks. I was told holding your head down was a sign of defeat and self-pity. I was told keeping my hands in my pocket showed I needed something to do and indicated to others I possibly stole something. It was always best to have your hands visible so people could see what you were up to. When I was growing up, hip-hop and rock was a big pastime, and the idea of wearing baggy clothes and baseball caps backwards was something I so desperately wanted to do. Especially when having older siblings, the opportunity to see them get away with stuff made things more appealing. Even though I was never into it, sagging your pants was a big thing then and even now. I remember an occurrence where my brother indulged in an act and I was schooled by my uncle that spent time in the pen. That it was a sign of you being another man's bitch. The idea of sagging showed the inmates on the block that you were taken by another dude. Other than one isolated moment, that was enough for me to steer clear from the concept. Before hearing that story, I always associated the concept of sagging with hand-me-downs. For myself, growing up, things were rough, and I often received clothing from friends and family and sometimes Goodwill. Based on the circumstances, most clothing didn't fit as well as I liked. So even with a belt or the occasional shoestring holding up my pants, sagging was more of an unfortunate option because of my circumstances. I know for most of the kids I was around, that's what the situation was. One time I did indulge was, of course, to impress a girl. I was about 12 or 13 years old and just left the barbershop with a fresh cut. I mowed some lawns all that week and sold some stuff in school to be able to enjoy the mall, a cab ride there, a nice uptown fade from the barbershop. There was a spot called Blues Brothers in Cherry Hill in New York. While walking out the barbershop, I noticed a girl and I seized the moment. Equipped with a fresh cut and some shades I just copped from the bodega. The only thing missing was the Hallmark sag. Get myself together right on time before her and her moms walked around the corner with her brother. In that very brief moment, I experienced what it meant to be a follower, desired, envied, and disrespectful all at the same time. While I gloated with excitement over the concept and the idea of being a big man, being desired, getting a huge smile from old girl, I also noticed the disgust in her mother's face. My sheer presence was enough to hold her daughter tighter and keep her as far away from me as possible. While on the other hand, her brother gazed with envy because I was doing what he wished he could. For me, life was rough. I was able to parlay my pastime into a lucrative situation for myself and my siblings. So whenever I got the chance, I was able to live like an adult. The luxury allowed for me to do many things at an early age, like buying Jordans, Timberlands, ordering taxis, and doing whatever I wanted. Ironically enough, despite those accolades, I still found myself following what someone else does in order to gain attention. Realizing that, I made a conscious decision to do things my way. It just didn't feel right. Oddly enough, after having that personal conviction, before I can make it to the block to hail a cab, a dude named Hassan stopped me. He noticed how I looked, and understandably, he asked some questions. He asked where I was going, how I got to the shop, whose pager I had, and the jewelry, whose jewelry I had, which was all mine. More importantly, he took time to tell me how he felt about me sagging and standing at the corner after I was done getting my cut. This conversation was also the first time I can remember being chastised outside my family dwelling for my appearance. So the situation hit home, because for me, this was someone who really didn't know me, giving his opinion of me based on a brief moment. While I understood his concern and the concept of not being aware of or respectful, it dawned on me, because the initial interaction and introduction, it would be hard for me to prove I was anything different from what met the eye. This exact experience stuck with me and allows me to remember to make memorable impressions with anyone I meet immediately, good or bad. It's up to me to indicate what version of myself I want to assert. To most, that day, I was wearing a thug's uniform. The dark shades, the fresh cut, baseball cap, Timberland boots, or J's, I can't remember at the time. Pager, jewelry. I was very young. I must have been doing something wrong. When in reality, I actually wasn't. At the time, I was a good student. My grades never were really bad. They weren't the best, but I never created trouble. I devised a way to be fiscally sound. And quite honestly, I just had an infatuation with the fashion style my brothers had, which coincide with the genre of music we listened to at the time, which was hip hop. There's a saying, if you walk like a duck and talk like a duck, it's a duck. I call BS on that, or cap, as the young bulls would say. However, based on that experience and maturity, I have learned that there are certain times for certain things. I may dress like this right now in the comfort of my own home or when I decide to leisurely do something. However, this wouldn't be my choice if we're meeting the president or headed to a wedding or a church. As it relates to judging someone based on their appearance, I think there should be grace based on age and immaturity until people are able to have certain experiences such as mine so they can make a conscious decision on their actions. However, if you encounter someone with knowledge and they choose to continue down a certain path, well, I guess, at that point, they have to take what comes with it. If I decide to go into a 5-star restaurant in a hoodie and I'm asked to leave, that's on my dumb ass. It doesn't matter who I am or how much money I have or how much money I spent with the establishment in the past. If I'm a man and I'm mature, I would take the time out to research and meet the requirements of the establishment. I think in these immediate times, cancel culture and sensitivity has damaged the rules of Cotorum and common sense. However, it does go both ways. Going back to Hassan, if he would have asked me about myself and not told me about myself, he probably would have been impressed with me or my efforts and understood me. Maybe even he would have went and bought my homeboys some belts. Same with the restaurant. If I'm asked why I'm wearing a hoodie in the establishment and have a logical explanation, there could be some compromise. I think judgment is based on the maturity of the individuals involved. I think your appearance does define you and give people an indication of who you are, but only in that exact moment. I feel fashion and clothing is one of the true forms of expression. If you see me and I have on a hoodie with some shades and I don't look approachable, maybe leave me the hell alone for the day. If I'm in some penny loafers and a button up with some hoochie daddy shorts, that's probably a clear indication that I'm having a great day and you couldn't piss me off to save your life. It's very evident that no matter what race, country, or creed, everyone has their own individual concept and meaning to their appearance. And the best course of action to reading any of these clues are to simply not. Just talk, have a conversation, get to know the person or persons you're around, and develop a true sense of who you're accompanying organically. Whether it's a guy wearing a 10-inch pump, or African American dude wearing a cowboy hat, or a 5'11", 250-pound dude wearing a do-rag and a hoodie, jewelry and can be mistaken for Mr. T. Challenge yourself to be better. Don't automatically assume they're a drug dealer, a rapper, or a thief. Ask questions respectfully and appreciate people for who they are and how they conduct themselves. That's just my humble opinion. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to my humble opinion. And I wanted to share something that I wrote that kind of concludes this episode. So, this poem is entitled Appearance. Do you see me? If you do, who can I be? If you see me, when you do, why can't you let me be? Let me be me. If you see me, don't be me. Let me see me in your eyes. Show me who I am as a reflection of what is magnified to you. Hear me, breathe with me, and believe me. Don't try and make me and tell me who I am. Do you see me? Who am I? If you see me, don't try to be me. Reflect my individuality in your own likeness. Mirror my uniqueness in your own way. Let me be me, you be you, while we use our greatness as a reflection for a brighter future. Do you see me? Do you see me now? Do you see you or do you see us? Who are we? We are the future. We are the change, the broken chain our ancestors wore to allow us an opportunity to be great. When you see me, see us.